Hello, my name is Swiss Bianco. In this video I will talk about the danger of knife attacks. I did decide to make the video in English as well. It's mainly in Deutsch, in German, because the situation over there gets completely overboard since 2015 at least. So I did already make a video about situational awareness. That is the most key element, that you know what is going around you so that you can react as soon as possible. Then of course I did show about the first 8 items that you should have for such serious wounds, and also the phone for calling for help, and also making pictures and videos for document the crime, so we see one-to-one how the crime did happen. And of course, what is still legal in almost anywhere on the planet, you need to have a sturdy flashlight, possible aluminium, possible with 1000 lumens, to illuminate in the dark, and also to use it as an impact weapon if needed. So in this video we're gonna have a look a bit about assessment of the danger of different knives that we have. That of course in general, if you see some criminal coming with a knife after you, the best what you can do is run either way, because it doesn't matter, is it having just a tiny blade, or is it the typical kitchen knife with a long blade. It's gonna be dangerous and absolute harmful in any way. But there is still some differences, of course, so we want to talk about this in this video. Now, what matters in the damage, if somebody gets stabbed, what matters on the damage is the length of the blade. So basically we have the length of the blade all the way to the handle here, from the tip to the handle. In this case we see we are nearly by 200 millimeter. So we see theoretically a criminal could stab just a little bit, maybe 2 inches, or half the blade, or the full length. You know, the question is always how much of a stabbing depth is reached and how much is actually deadly. So if we look at a regular shape sized body, the depth of the stabbing is not in need to be really deep. So I would say about 4 to 5 inches would be already enough. So we have 10 to 15 centimeters. So like this would be already 15 centimeters, and this would be 10 centimeters, 4 inches. So we see how short that blade actually needs to be deadly. That again by a regular body size, not a little elephant, of course. It also depends on the clothing that you wear. If you have winter clothing, thick heavy clothing, that's of course gives you an additional thickness of the layer, so the blade length need to be longer to go through. So if somebody, say it's a winter time, you wear thicker clothing, somebody comes with a typical folding knife, non-locking, with a smaller blade like this, and the blade is non-locking, that of course is way less dangerous than, say, the opposite, as we have a fixed blade. Let's actually grab this one, that we have a fixed blade with a guard, one side guard, and a really long blade. We see here first the fixed blade of course has no lock, it's completely one piece, and we see the blade length show it all. The second point is also with the guard, in that case that I mentioned at the start, that we currently have in Germany, the criminal actually used a fighting knife, not this one. This video is not about the knives on the table, those are just examples to show how a design features and length of the blade is. So he had a guard, he had a more sturdy design of a blade, more thicker than a kitchen knife. It wasn't a dagger, it was a one-side sharpened blade like this one, with a good guard, with a good grip, you know, and that's what he used. So if somebody has, if a criminal comes with such a knife, not a kitchen knife, but a military style or hunting style knife of a certain length, you may have a less blade length than the big kitchen knife, but the overall design makes it way more dangerous for you, so the threat level is way higher in that case. As we see here by that kitchen knife, relative often the criminals stab so hard with knives that the knives break, that say the handle of the knife falls apart from the blade, or they have not a good guard, like in this case, so the criminal cuts himself in the hand as well. And this all is not gonna happen with a military style or hunting style kind of knife that is more durable manufactured and has a bit thicker material and design features, so that gives us more danger, you know. Then of course the opposite side, again we have the typical Swiss Army knife, and non-locking, some of them are locking. Of course people got stabbed and killed with such knives as well, so either way it's dangerous, but we need to be clearly see that such knives are way less dangerous than even a medium size folding knife that has a locking blade. That's part of the reason why I say in England locking blades are not legal to carry, or at least not as much as legal as like a non-locking blade. What that means is that as you open the blade, it simply locks in one way or another, so the blade acts like a fixed blade. It won't go and close on yourself, on the hand, you know. So that is one difference there. Folding knives, in that kind of style, they also can be bigger, is a bit more of a surprise attack, you know, is possible, because you can simply open it up, or like this one as an example, if you hold it like this you would not see it coming too much, and then just as the criminal is too close, just deployment of the blade is like this. And even as we look, the blade is of course shorter, we don't have much of a guard, but the blade length is still in a good size. We have there nearly 80 millimeters, so it's under 10, I mean under 4 inches, but still it's pretty dangerous in this case, especially because we have a blade that has a top edge and a bottom edge, so it's a dagger style of blade. Does that matter? For stabbing maybe a bit less, but for cutting we have to differentiate between stabbing and cutting. Stabbing, even a screwdriver can be used for stabbing, so even a simple item like this, again with a 10 centimeter 4 inches, would be a dangerous weapon if used for stabbing, because it's blunt. It's still gonna stab relative well. Of course it has no cutting edge, so it would not cut in that design there, but it could be still used for stabbing. Then we have the points where the criminals most often stab. Of course it's the whole body, whatever they can reach, but if they, unfortunately, if they can, they try to stab the head and the neck, the upper part of the chest as well. In that case in Germany, bulletproof vest did not help. The criminal did stab in the neck, and unfortunately that was fatal. It was not instantly fatal, but after a couple hours, unfortunately, it was done. So that is that. As a side note, if you be in England, as an example, there is a lot of machetes being used, like this example. This one is a rather pointy one. Usually machetes are not that pointy, so that is more for hitting and not for stabbing. Usually from the start, from the factory, the machetes are not overly sharp, so we can expect that if as they use it for cutting, that the cut quite likely is more deeper because of the force of the whole item, the hit, than the actual sharpness of the item. Then of course we have the usual little axe. We had quite some criminals unfortunately using those kind of too. That kind of thing could be actually thrown a little bit as well because of the weight. It also has a hammer side, so some criminals gonna use that like a hammer, just with the blunt end to hit body parts, especially the neck and the head. The cutting edge of the little axe is of course small, but those are usually rather sharp, so that small edge there gonna give quite a cut, together of course with the force of the heavier weight head of the little axe. So again, I hope this video gonna help you access the problems that you may face a bit better. All in all, it's dangerous, but it's for sure less dangerous if somebody comes with a little knife after you than with a bigger kitchen knife or even a military grade knife. Of course, then we have the problem if you don't see it coming, like with this one, as it is covered up. So yeah, coming back to the start, situational awareness is the key of it, and preparation, that is, I would say, number one. And for the politicians out there, if a criminal is not in the country, he can't do any crime. It's not about the knife is a tool, it's about the criminal.